G'day everyone, welcome to another Let's Go Fishing video. I'm just on Lake Mulwala. It's the final few days of Murray Cod season for 2024 and I've been having some great success, catching some fish. It's been awesome and I've really been focusing on using the live tech and recording with the Garmin Active Captain on my phone. So I've recorded a whole bunch of screen recordings of me catching cod, what cod look like, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I just wanted to put this video together for you guys. If you've got the Garmin set up, a few tips and tricks on what I do with settings and how I use it. And then if you don't have the Garmin set up, a lot of footage of what it actually looks like so you can get an idea for yourself about how it all works. So what I'll do to start off is I'll just start off this clip with me catching a couple of fish off it so you guys can get an idea of what a fish looks like, what your lure looks like, and then actually see it in action and see me catch a couple of fish. So I'm gonna kick the clip off with that and then we'll run through a few of the settings and a few of the tips and tricks I do.
Alright, so we'll kick it off with this first clip here. I got a fish out at 10 meters. You'll see my lure comes directly over top of the fish and it just does not even recognize the lure. Super close to it, but just not quite perfect. This is how perfect you have to get sometimes. So I throw pretty much the exact same cast out again, bring it down, come just over top of the fish, but he's turning and he's facing the right way and bang, he grabs it. As soon as it comes at him the right way, he's got it. I've got him. So this is it from my GoPro, not from the screen recording. And as you'll see, that cast goes pretty well dead on line there, and it's not good enough. The next cast is only, a meter or so to the side, and it's perfect. So this is how close you sometimes have to be to get the bite.
Yep, got it. Nice. That one shows that sometimes you do have to bring it right to them. Like, I had to get that swim jig right on him then and he just grabbed it as soon as it got to him. He looked a bit bigger on the screen, but still a beautiful fish. Get it to focus in on him there. There we go. First thing in the morning. He's a beauty. Really lovely little fish. Alright, I'm gonna get him back. Cod thumb me.
This next fish is out at 14 meters and you'll see my splash there at 19 meters. I bring the lure to him. He quickly does a little 180, turns and follows and bang, and then he eats after a little follow. So that's a pretty standard bite for a Murray cod.
Got him. Got him. Thought he was bigger than that, but take him, take him. Bit bigger than the last one. Alright, he's a little bit bigger than the last one, but not too far off pigeon pair. You see he was sitting real close to the surface. Really active one, that one. Sitting super close to the surface like that, and it took a fair few casts, but once I got it perfectly in front of him, he just nailed it on the way past, just like the other one. Well, he actually turned and followed for a second, so little follow and then bang. Get it to focus on him though. Pretty cool. Do a bit better on the release of this one instead of kicking out of my hand straight away. He's ready to go. Oh, God. Okay, so that was a couple of smaller fish that I caught off the screen in the last couple of days. As you can see there, they react different to the lures. Sometimes the fish just grab it head on as soon as it gets there. Other times the fish turn and follow it and eat it after they follow it. But yeah, you get a good indication of what a cod looks like and what your lure looks like on a screen. And you really do have to get your lure in the exact same line as the cod and get your lure on the screen to get the bite most of the times. Every now and again you'll cast in and the cod will swim over and eat it, but most of the time you really have to get that lure right in line with the fish. Even if there's current or the fish is swimming a direction, you got to get it out in front of the fish. There's no use coming behind from the fish. But now I'll do a quick couple more videos of the bigger fish that I've caught over the last couple of days and what they look like on the screen.
Okay, so this bigger fish was cruising way out in 15 metres of water in the middle of the main river channel. You can see my splash there out at 15 metres and sinking down to him. So this is fairly early in the morning, so the fish was active, and the bigger fish do cruise these main channels a lot, but I'd had a cast or two beforehand and he didn't come straight up on it. So on this cast, I literally had to sink it right down on him and just kind of jig it over top of his head, and you'll see it sparks a little bit of aggression out of him. So I just continue to pull it away then, and he just follows it up and eats it. As you can see, he's coming now. Bang, fish on.
Got him. Got him. He's a nice fish. He's a nice one. That was pretty sick. Very sick. I had to get it right on him. There we are. He's a bit more of a quality fish, that one. Took a while to get his interest, but once I got it right on his nose and pulled it away, it just sparked interest and got him. Swimjig. So sick to get one like that. He's a beautiful fish. Get him back in the water. Alright, it's a little swimjig in his mouth. 7-inch. We'll get that out and let him go. So there you go, guys. That's what a couple of cod looks like, and I hope you can get an idea of what they look like. The cod usually always look like that two jointed shape. You got the fish and then you got that round tail swinging along at the back. But one thing you will work out is that nothing compares to time on the water and time at looking at the screen. When you first get it, it can be very overwhelming to try and decide what's a fish, what's not a fish, which is what type of species of fish. But once you hone in your skills, spend a bit of time on the water, you can quickly tell the difference between a cod, a yellow belly or a carp. And that all just comes from time on the water and time looking at the screen, experimenting. So if you do have the setup, it's great to watch a video like this and see a few things, but you really need to just get out there yourself. Spend a bunch of time looking at the screen and you'll pick it all up as you go along and you'll learn heaps. It certainly took me a long time to learn, but once you work it all out, it is great, and you can just zoom past those other fish and really target the big cod.
So with this fish, you can see he's close to the bottom and there's a stick out there. So my cast lands out at 24 metres so I don't spook him, and I quickly burn my lure all the way back to get it past this stick. You see my lure there, now it's past the stick. I'll let it sink down so I don't get snagged, and I just come right over top of the fish again. Just want to get it perfect. You see him turn, do a 180, chase it down, and then bang, eats it.
Got him. Got him. Got the cast out in front, perfect. He turned, raced under it for a little bit, and then smoked it. And he is just a absolutely perfect fish. No ankle worm, not a mark on him. Probably somewhere around that 90 centimetre mark. Beautiful, beautiful, healthy fish. Definitely not a bad way to end the season with a couple of 90s in the morning. Pretty bloody stoked with that, but the other fish kicked out of my hand before I could get the release video, so see how we go with this one. Yeah. Now this clip here is of a really, really big fish. It's possibly one of the biggest fish I've found on the screen this season. The fish didn't want to borrow the lure at all. As you can see, it just ignores it, and then it finally spooks from the lure. But this is what a really, really big Murray cod looks like on the screen. As you can see, it's like this big triple jointed snaky thing, and you can see all three fins. You can see the side fin, the tail fin, and then the two fins either side of the tail on the back. This is what they look like when they're a really big fish. All right, so these are the settings that I run on my Garmin unit. I'm running all auto settings. Every now and again, I'm running auto gain, but every now and again, I'll just change the gain a little bit up or down, depending how much scatter I get on the screen. But you really don't need to worry about that too much at all. The only thing I do is I do change the depth from auto, and I pretty much always have it on 10, 9, or 11 meters. This just saves the screen jumping around as I go in shallower or deeper water. And then when I get a fish on the screen, the fish usually always looks the same size. Whereas if I get a fish on the screen in shallow water, it'll look massive. And then if I get a fish out in deep water, it'll look a lot smaller where it is. But if I just leave the depth the same and the range the same on 32 meters, the fish always look the same size, and I get a really good indication of what's a big fish and what's a smaller fish. I also use this green color palette just because it shows up really well at night. I can have my brightness right down low and you can still see this green color palette, which I really like. And then when you bring it right up during the day and it's real super sunny, you can still see the screen awesome as well. So that's just another little change I make, but you can really choose whatever color you like yourself. As far as pole setup, I've just got a G-Fab pole. I do have the glow-in-the-dark handle there. Helps a little bit at night, but the main thing is just to really get behind your pole. And if you get a fish on the screen, you want to be standing directly behind your pole. So I got mine mounted here, right where I can stand in the middle of the cast deck, and I can just fire my cast straight down the pole every time, because you really need to be right on the mark of the fish. So I've also got the G-Fab multi-mode mount on the bottom, so if I do want to flip it over into scout mode, I can quickly do that. But for pretty much all my cod fishing, I just use it in forward mode the whole time. Forward mode is definitely the go for the big cod. I got the screen sitting on the G-Rex mount there. I can pop it up a little higher if I wanted to, but it's just perfectly in front of me as well, so I can literally look this way. I got my screen, and then I can look this way, and I got my pole. And it's very easy to just stand right in the middle of the cast deck here and fire the cast exactly in the right spot every time. So that's just a few little tips and tricks for my setup.
These next couple of clips are just a couple of missed bites. Always happens with Murray cod fishing that you don't hook them, but you can see my lure sinking down there to this fish on the bottom. I'm actually using a hard licious here, so I vibe it up over top of the fish a couple of times. He shoots up, grabs it, does a couple of kicks, and then the lure comes out. So you see the fish moves off, big cloud of dust comes up, and my lure's still bouncing away there with no fish. It just happens. Murray cod fishing, there's not too much you can do about it, but you really got to be ready for that hook set. This next clip here, we've got a fish up off the bottom a bit more, out at 10 meters. Same thing, I'm using the Vibalicious again. So I flick the Vibalicious out there, lands at about 15 meters, let it sink down right near the fish, and give it a few rips over the top again. See the fish lights up, turns on it, comes up, grabs it on the drop, and I go to hook set, lure comes out, fish goes back down to the bottom. Just another couple of standard Murray cod bites. You can see the fish there just gone straight to the bottom and cruising along the bottom, which they so often do once they've been spooked. This next one here is with the Samaki Vibalicious vibe again. Fish is quite close, so I'll throw the vibe at it at 10 meters. You can see the fish looks up straight away. It's a really active one, this one. One jig, and then bang, he's on, and I've got him on. Got him. Vibalicious. Oh, hardlicious gets the nibble. A little hardlishy. Alright, how's that beautiful one there? I was just hopping the little hardlicious vibe, just hopping that over top of him, and he absolutely nailed it. Second one of the morning that's nailed it, but I missed the hooks on the other one. I'll get him back. As you can see, the water's quite dirty, but it doesn't seem to matter too much with the scope. You can always seem to get a bit of a bite. Okay, so this is the final fish I'll catch on this video. You see me just turn my active captain on my phone to start the screen recording, and this fish is coming straight at me, so I really want to get a cast in there quick, moving towards me, and they're a lot harder to catch once they're under the boat. So I land the cast out at 18 meters. This is a Spinwright Swimjig. Just sink it down, and then I really just want to crank it straight over top of this fish's head as fast as possible before he ends up under the boat. So I'm starting to run out of room here. He's 5 meters down and only 10 meters out, but I just get the swim jig into the zone here. Once he starts to look up at it, and I know he knows it's there, I just start winding up towards the boat. That's when he chases up, gets angry, and goes bang. I've got him on now.
Nice fish. Beautiful fish. Sick. That was sick. Got that too. Alright, that one was pretty cool. Just burnt the swim jig past him a little bit and watched him just shoot up. Knew he was coming for it. Absolutely nailed it. Plenty of these smaller fish around, but it's good fun and good honing of the skills on the screen, that's for sure. But he's still a beautiful fish. He'd be 75 centimeters or something. Okay, so I'll just do a quick little gear run through of the gear I've been using to catch those fish and a few little tips on why I use it. I'm still actually using a big long 8-foot swim bait rod. The reason I'm using this is because the Murray Cod in Lake Mulwala have become super aware of casting, lure splash and the live technology. So used to be able to just use a nice little short rod, short cast, get it on top of the head and catch them. But now I find they're so spooky. You want to stay way out, a long way off the fish, like at least, 20 to 30 meters if they're in the shallows. And the Garmin is so clear that I can see clearly all the way out to 32 meters, which I got the length set on. So I'm using a nice big long swim bait rod, can throw the lure a long way, keep the boat way away from the fish and just come over top of their head. So that's why I'm still using the longer swim bait rod, but you can use a shorter rod and do little more pokier casts, especially if the fish are less pressured. It's got 50-pound X Braid on that, 77-pound X Braid leader, slim and strong, and then I'm just throwing the Spinwright Swimjigs. Definitely, I find if you're chasing pressured fish on the scope, you want a lure that's just got no sound, very little subtle action, and the swim jigs are awesome. You got the skirt working, and then you got the paddle tail as well, and I just found they're deadly on the spooky fish here in Mulwala, and pretty much every cod that I find on the scope loves to eat these things. So that's the gear I'm using to get the job done, and it's been working great for me, but there is other options and you can use other stuff if you want.
Okay, so this final screen recording has been sped up quite a bit, but you can see really big fish there on the screen. It just spooked from my cast. This is just a big one cruising the main river channel during the day, and as you can see, it really does not like lures. Every time I cast a lure in, it goes down in the water column and it's swimming along quite fast. I did not get a bite out of this one. He eventually swam into a big willow tree and disappeared, but just got a bit of a screen recording here to show you guys. Again, it's that big triple jointed snaky looking thing, and I get the lure right in the zone a few times and it just moves out of the way, or just changes its course from the splash, which is so often happens with these big fish. But as you can see here, he's about to swim into this big willow tree and never to be seen again. So you do only get a certain percentage of bites from fish you see, that's for sure.
So that's just a few little tips and tricks for my live sonar setup for Murray Cod, guys. I'm definitely no expert at it. There's a lot of guys who've done a lot more than me, but I have got out a fair bit this season and learned a lot, and it has been great fun to do something different. So this is the stuff that's worked for me. This is what I'm doing now, and really confident in this setup. It's by far the best way to come out and catch big cod if you want to catch big cod. Thanks for watching another video, guys. I appreciate it. Only a short one, this one, but I hope you picked up a couple of little tips. When you get out on the water yourself, you can catch a few more fish. So thanks for watching another video, guys. Cheers. Okay, everybody, I said that was the end of the video, but I've forgotten a few important things. I'm just home, back in the shed, and I realized I didn't explain any about my setup to you guys. So just quickly, I'll go over everything. I've got the Garmin 8416 screen. That is one of the higher model screens. Gives you a really good picture with the LiveScope. That's why I've got that model screen. You don't really need the 16 inch, but I've got the 16 inch. I've then got the LiveScope LS34 transducer. LVS34 transducer, sorry. This is the newest model transducer at the moment. Gives you a really good picture. That then runs back to the GLS10 black box. So I've got the black box mounted up under the front of my cast deck here. And then I've just got a short wiring loom straight to a 12-volt lithium battery. I think that's the most important thing about the whole setup, is that you have either a 12-volt lithium or it can run off a 24-volt system as well. So a 24-volt battery would do the job as well, but if you are going to use a 12-volt battery, I really suggest getting the lithium because you get no voltage drop. I can use it all the way down to about 5% battery before I start to notice any voltage drop on the screen. Most of the time I'm over 13 volts, and I think that is an important factor that gives you such a good picture, is to have 13 volts on your screen and your LiveScope setup. So I've just got both the screen and the LiveScope running off the one lithium, and it gives me about 20 hours of fishing time. So plenty of fishing time, and that's just a quick little run over of my whole setup. So if you guys want to get something similar or you're looking into it, this is what I'm running, and that's the setup that I'm doing it. So that was just the final piece of the puzzle, guys. Thanks for watching.